Good morning, FedPhoenix fam. So I get a lot of questions, people on Facebook groups that I'm in, that are pertaining to federal incarceration, or people contact me through my information on my YouTube channel about FSA credits. Right? A lot of people are going to prison, and they have no idea what FSA credits are, who gets them, how they work. They're starting from nothing, and I wanted to make a couple videos, really kind of breaking things down a bit. That way, it'd be just, resource online, where I can just kind of defer people like, hey, go check out my YouTube FSA videos. And if you have any questions after that, come back to me. So I'm going to do two videos. The first one, this one, and I got my little notes. You guys know me. I get a little sidetracked real easy. The first video is going to be, this one is going to be FSAs, what is it, who gets it, how is it earned, that kind of thing. The second video I'm going to do at a later point will be showing people how to calculate, if they're going into prison, how much time they can expect to serve, with FSA credits, how that will shorten their time. So let's get right into it. In the description of this video will be my Cash App and my PayPal if you'd like to donate to the channel and what I'm doing, and just various information on how to contact me, and my email will be there, and the merch line for FedPhoenix right there, buddy. There's all kind of stuff, from clothes to coffee mugs to stickers to slap on the back of your laptop, whatever. If you'd like to represent the FedPhoenix fam or support the cause, the fam, of course, is the subscribers, the followers, the people who just kind of tip and dip in, and keep up with my journey, and benefit from the channel. So having said all that, and of course, if you like the video, if you want to see new content as it drops, hit subscribe, notifications, hit all. If you do select, the YouTube algorithm is likely to not even show you half of what you benefit from seeing. So having said all that, put at the beginning instead of the end of this video, but let's hop right into it. So there was a thing passed, I don't know if it would be considered a law or a policy change, but whatever, called the First Step Act, right? And the First Step Act included ETCs, earned time credits, that federal inmates could earn to shorten their sentence, in addition to the already given good time credits. So with good time, you're basically going to do 10 months for every year. You get 54 days per year off your sentence. That's kind of given to you as a credit up front. When you begin your incarceration. Of course, you can lose these days by getting into trouble. The ETCs, the FSA, and a lot of people just refer to this as your FSAs or your FSA credits, are not given to you. They're trying to come up with a system to give them to people up front, but how it's been working is you get them as you earn them. So like monthly, you would get an update on how many FSA credits you have and where that moves your release date to. So the first 6 months you were incarcerated, okay? And the rating of the policy is like the first 6 months, once you've completed 6 months and have had 2 team meetings. Your first team meeting will be within 30 days of your incarceration, usually sometimes a little earlier, a couple weeks, but within 30 days. And that second team meeting will be at about the 6-month period of your incarceration. Again, sometimes a little early. If the people at your facility are busy, it might be a little late. During those first 6 months, you can earn 10 FSA credits per month, right? And a lot of people, when they first get to prison, they're emailing me and they're like, oh my God, I've been here 2 months and I'm not seeing FSAs yet. Relax, woosah. Always tell people those first 6 months, let it work itself out. Don't stress over if you're not getting them, or if the updates aren't coming through, because it is going to take the system some time to catch up with the fact that you're there and you're earning them, and where that puts you. Don't panic. Don't freak out. It's not a big deal. It'll be fine. Most likely. And if it's not, I highly recommend Bruce Cameron, who is a lawyer who helps people with these kind of things in the Fed. But that's, another topic for another day. But so anyway, so you can earn up to 10 days, and there really is no they say up to, but the reality is you're not going to earn 7 days or 4 days. It's going to be 10 or nothing for your first 6 months. After you've completed 6 months of being in prison, From that point moving forward, you can earn 15 days per month off your sentence. And it doesn't come off the front end, it comes off the back end. And when I do the second video of how to calculate FSAs, I'll kind of break this down a little bit more, because a lot of people really kind of mess up, trying to figure things out for themselves, because they're not calculating properly, because they're taking them off the front end as they earn them, when the actual calculations come off the back end as you earn them on the front end. But again, that'll be covered in the second video. So that's what FSAs are. Okay. Now, who gets FSAs? Who qualifies? If your pattern scores are both minimums, or both lows, or a low and a minimum, you qualify for FSAs. Most people who are in that bracket will either be in a camp or in a federal low facility. I have heard of people that are still in mediums and FCIs that are getting credits. I don't think that that's really what's to be expected, though, quite honestly. Now, as far as if one of your scores are low and one is a medium, I'm pretty sure you still don't get them. But I have heard people say that they've seen exceptions, although I've personally not firsthand seen that. So I'm not going to vouch for that. And you may be thinking, well, if I'm starting off in an FCI and a medium security, then, why do I give a crap about FSAs, right? Because it doesn't apply to me. Here's the thing. You can be earning these and they kind of get banked away without them being applied. You see what I'm saying? So even if you're in a medium and the FSAs you're earning aren't being applied yet, you could still be earning them. So once you get your level, your pattern scores, and your security level down to where you are eligible to actually get FSAs, get the credits applied, you actually have a good bit of them potentially, kind of saved up, kind of pushed, stocked away. And you want that. You definitely want anything that helps you move your release date sooner, as expeditiously as possible. And if you start out at a medium, I've never heard of anyone starting out at a max at a USP and ultimately getting FSA credits. Although I'd imagine if you had a really long sentence, maybe 10 years or more, this would be possible. But if you're starting at a medium in FCI, it is definitely very plausible, if you have a decent sentence, anything more than, I'd say 3 or 4 years, that you can, in fact, get FSAs applied at some point. That by staying out of trouble and doing what you need to do to actually earn them, that you can find yourself in a position where these can be applied to your sentence. So earn them even if they're not being applied. You know what I mean? That's important. Now, when you get your first comp sheet, when you go to prison, your comp sheet's your composition sheet, and it breaks down, when you came to prison, how long you've got, all of that. If you have any time credit for time served, maybe you did some time in county jail or in holding or whatever, all that kind of stuff. But when you get that, anytime your comp sheet changes, right? Anytime your out date, pretty much your going home date or your halfway house date changes, you will get a new comp sheet. So you don't need to ask your family to call, Grand Prairie or call the prison. And you don't need to ask people at the prison, has my date changed? Have I got credits applied? You will know because at mail call, usually within a couple business days, you will get a new comp sheet with the new updated information. Also, your initial comp sheet will say if you're FSA eligible or not. Now, this doesn't mean you're eligible to apply FSA credits. This means you're eligible to earn them. Or no, you're eligible to apply them. I'm sorry, that's what the comp sheet tells you. So even if it says FSA ineligible, go ahead and do what you need to do to get them anyway. Because, it's better to be doing what you need to do to potentially have them applied at some point than not. However, I have seen errors on other people's comp sheets where it said FSA eligible, but they weren't eligible to actually have them applied yet. They were just earning them. They were in earning status, which still, either way, staying out of trouble and keeping yourself busy and passing your time are just generally smart things to do while you're incarcerated. And, and a perk now, a bonus, to doing that is the potential to earn or have applied FSA credits. So even if you're not sure if you're going to get them or not, or if they're ever going to be applied to you or not, I would go ahead and do what you need to do to actually be getting them, so that if they can be applied, you have them. Because, that's all great, right? But if not, the things you're doing to earn them are things that you should be doing anyway, to try to help your time go by quicker and to minimize the amount of time you have. So now, people are asking, how do they earn FSAs while incarcerated? If you are working while incarcerated, then you are in earning status, assuming you're eligible to earn them. Now, aside from that, or in addition to that, you have to, when you first get into prison and you get your PAC and your PIN number, and this allows you to set up your email and to start making phone calls home to your family. On the email, on the True Links, the inmate side of the core links is called True Links. When you're on the True Links, there will be a survey. It's called a needs survey or an FSA assessment survey. You will fill this out. And based upon that, a computer will generate a list of what they determine your needs to be to minimize the chances of recidivism, to lessen the likelihood that you're going to come back to prison afterwards. And it's not always going to make sense or even be applicable. And there's no checks and balances system to correct it if it gets it wrong. There were a lot of people I was in prison with who had a FSA need for a parenting class, but never had kids, weren't at an age where they could have kids, had parenting was just not even an aspect of their life, but the survey said they had a parenting class need. You may have an anger management need and be the most calm, laid back person on the planet. Pretty much everybody is deemed to have a financial need. If you have any kind of FRP, financial repayment, any kind of restitution or anything you owe, if you do not have perfect credit, if you have any history of debts, if you are low income, I expect to have a financial need, and the list goes on. But, don't be deterred by the fact that some of the needs that the system will say you have just don't even apply. It is what it is. You're in their world. You're living on their time. You got to just kind of roll with it and go with the program. And I always advise people, once you're able to take that survey, of course, immediately, as soon as you get your PAC and PIN number, because that's important. Because if you delay doing that, then you delay your ability to potentially earn FSA credits. And then go ahead and most places that have FSA credits have a basic finance class, right? And at Outerson, the basic one was called Money Smart. And then usually you'll have a need for a health or a fitness class. Healthier Me was I think the most popular one or most common one at Outerson. And I think a lot of places with FSA classes have those too, Money Smart and Healthier Me. So once you do your survey, go ahead, find out who's instructing the Healthier Me and the Money Smart classes at your facility or something along those lines. And however it is you sign up for classes at your facility. At my facility, sometimes they would put sign-up sheets on the horseshoe in the units. Whether they did or did not for a specific class, one thing you could always do to get on a waiting list for a class is to send a electronic email to whoever is teaching the class to ask to be put on the wait list for the class. So what you want to do is you want to ask the other inmates, who's teaching Healthier Me, who's teaching Money Smart, and say, hey, I want to send them an electronic cop-out, or I want to send them an email asking to be put on their wait list. So, I need to know the name of the individual in the department to send it to. And go ahead and do that. Because when you get to that first team meeting, within your first 30 days, they're going to say, oh, your FSA assessment, and this is when you're going to hear about what your needs are. And, this is what they are, yada, yada, yada. And they're going to say, you need to get in classes for these and get on the wait list for classes for these. And it really kind of gives you a leg up to be able to say, I'm already on the wait list for Money Smart and Healthier Me, or I'm already, on the wait list for some FSA classes. And not only does this give you a leg up because you're kind of really just getting in there and doing what you need to do, it definitely conveys the message to your prison staff team, your counselor, your case manager, caseworker, all of them. Potentially your building manager will be in that group, or your unit manager. But it definitely conveys the message to them that you are there to do what you need to do, get your time done, and get home as quickly as you can to your family, and that you're very sincere in pursuing that. And I think that kind of plants a seed where they have a little bit more consideration and respect for you moving forward. And even if it's just a little glimmer and just one of them catches it, it can make a world of difference in the condition of your stay. Let's see. So now, mind you, some people have asked me, they've said, my loved one's incarcerated and they've earned 9 months of FSAs, but they got in trouble and the prison's taking FSA credits away. They can't do that, right? Because they earned them. They can do that. They can certainly do that. And they will. Because now, it used to be, the thing they could take away from you to make you stay longer when you got into trouble, other than getting a new charge, would be to take away your good time, right? Well, now they can take away your good time and they can take away FSA time. So, and no matter how long you're going to be incarcerated, and no matter if you're getting time taken away and you're re-earning it and what you're doing, the most you're going to get off your sentence is 12 months, is a year, through FSA. But in the grand scheme of things, if you've ever done prison time, you know, like I know, that even if something gives you an opportunity to get you home 3 days earlier, a day earlier, you want to do it. I mean, seriously. Because in the free world, you know, a day, a week, a month, these are just little flashes, little snippets of time. But when you're incarcerated, you know, an hour can feel like a whole day. A day can feel like a week. A week can feel like months. You know, so the concept of time as it passes is very different for incarcerated persons than it is for people in the free world. So even though, you know, some people are like, well, the most I can get off my time is a year and I got a 15-year sentence, you know, it's not worth my time. You can say that to me now before you start your time. And I get it. I get the logic to a degree. But let me tell you something. As a person who's done time, and once you become a person who's done time, I 100% assure you that your perspective on that will certainly make a huge change, for huge. Also, I just want to kind of throw in that if you are still in the free world, or if you're watching this prior to incarceration, or you have a loved one who's incarcerated and you're kind of watching this to get information for them, aside from my 2 YouTube channels, which of course I recommend from a very, very biased perspective, but additionally, there are a lot of Facebook groups. If you're into social media, or if you use it at all, there are a lot of Facebook. If you go on Facebook and you put in the search bar for groups, something like First Step Act or First Step Act Early Release or First Step Act questions, you know, any terminology along these lines, you will find that there are Facebook groups. And in these groups are people like myself who have been previously incarcerated that are happy at zero cost to you to kind of walk you through things and educate you. And then a lot of times in these groups, there's also 1 or 2 lawyers who, let's say your loved one, you know, earned FSAs and they should be getting applied, but they're not. And because of that, they're going to have to overserve their time. There are actually people in a position to, you know, obviously they charge you, but to assist you in getting those things sorted out. And just having those resources, is certainly something that even if you don't intend to use them, having them, you know, kind of on deck, you know, or in your, what are those things people used to have with addresses and phone numbers? Your Rolodex. No one uses them anymore, of course. But in your metaphorical Rolodex of resources and information sources, having those kind of numbers or those contacts kind of tucked away is certainly a very smart tool to have in this situation, or if you have a loved one in this situation. So that's the gist on FSA ETCs or FSA credits or earned time credits, you know, whichever terminology you prefer or your group is using. That's kind of the gist of it. If you're going into prison and you're wondering, well, I wonder if I'm going to be a medium or a low, or what are pattern scores? What in the heck? You can go to the BOP's website. And if you're looking into this for a loved one, you can go on the BOP's website and enter their information. But if it's for yourself, you can go on the BOP's website and enter your information. And I believe it's called the risk assessment tool or pattern assessment tool, pattern risk assessment tool, something of that verbiage. And it's just a bunch of multiple, you know, a bunch of questions. And you have 2 pattern scores. You have a violent score and a general score. And once you tally up those scores, you will know if you fall into the minimum, low, medium, or maximum brackets. And, you know, and you may think, well, I have no criminal history. You know, surely I'm going to be a medium or low in everything. Not necessarily true. Things that can make your scores higher are your age. The older you are, the better this is for you as far as getting those scores in a place where you want them to be. If you are a young person, if you're in your early 20s, you're going to definitely be at a disadvantage with these pattern scores in regards to that. If you do not yet have a GED or diploma, that is going to be a hindrance for you. And there are a lot of other just random things that are factored in. So don't take it on face value. Oh, I don't really have a criminal history, so I'll be fine. That's not necessarily true. So anywho, if there are any questions, drop them in the comments or any comments. I'm pretty good at getting back to people in a timely fashion. I hope this information has been helpful. Whatever you're going through, remember it is a slice of your life and you will get through it because you have to, because you have already. Tell yourself it is already over. You're going to feel like life is over while you're in prison, but it's not, I promise you. So with that, I'm going to end this one. And like I said, I would do a follow-up video at a later time, breaking down how to calculate and apply FSA credits to your sentence. So good day. God bless. and I'll see y'all later.